Okay, my tripod just broke and whatever. Okay. This is right before the election. Right before the election, and a lot of people are approaching me with issues, and I said, oh, you know, Charles, you should really ask about this, about that. I said, no problem, let's do an interview, and put your concern on the information highway. Oh, no, I can't do that. And that happens. 98% of the people are afraid to speak up. And one issue is Work Safe New Brunswick. Work Safe New Brunswick, it's the Irvings are really going after injured workers who dare to fight back. It's not everybody that will fight back. And issues like advocate, work safe advocate. Anyway, so this person's been complaining, and a fighter, won't mention any names, won't mention where, and suddenly this person says, you should talk about that, Charles. I said, yeah, after the election. He said, no, now. So I said, you want to do a video? Sure. I almost took a heart attack. So let's see how this goes.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Now, do you want to use your name?
No, not really.
You don't want to use your name, and you don't want to say where you're from?
No, not really.
You're from New Brunswick.
I'm from New Brunswick.
And a lot of people are afraid to speak up. And you never speak up. Are you okay?
Maybe not publicly.
No, are you okay?
Oh, yeah.
You're not heading for a nervous breakdown?
No.
Everything's fine?
Everything's fine.
Okay, so just before we start, why do you want to speak up?
Well, because I don't know where someone went, where an agency went, and I'd sure like to know.
Okay, now, the issue is Work Safe New Brunswick.
Well, Jay, it's not just Work Safe New Brunswick. It's the issue would be Workers' Appeal Services. Where did they go?
So this is connected to Work Safe New Brunswick.
It's connected to Work Safe New Brunswick for people that need help with Canada pensions. Anything that you appeal, they helped a lot of people.
So
Anything that you appeal through a tribunal.
a lot of people don't know that. You're injured, next thing you know, you're
denied something.
You're denied, and you have to appear in front of this panel.
Yes.
Begging and whatever. And is there somebody there that speaks on your behalf?
Yes, these are workers advocates. Like they have workers advocates. The government has them, and
The government
has the NB government.
Yeah.
They have workers advocates that they hire. They pay. Now we have this Workers' Appeal Services that is all through donations. With the United Way, it's private donations. They have to raise money. So either, they might get a little bit of money from the government, but I don't think they get a whole bunch.
Now,
Not sure financially what they get and what they don't, but all I know is they're not there anymore. And I call every week to see if they're back, and they're not. And the only explanation I ever got was they were winning too many cases.
now, what's the name of this group?
What's that?
What's the name of this group you call?
It's called Workers' Appeal Services.
And
If
workers.
you call there, the message machine is full, and they don't take any more messages, but the phone number is still good. So it just gives a little bit of hope that they're going to come back.
So, was there somebody special that was working for them?
Well, I guess they all were special. They were all good. Anybody that worked there that we dealt with were really good. But the latest was Bob Shalala.
Bob Shalala. He's a lawyer?
Shalala.
Is he a lawyer?
I'm not sure.
So he's an advocate on behalf of the injured workers?
Injured workers, but not just injured workers, people that are, like I said, if you're disabled and you need Canada Pension Disability and they deny you, or he can help you fill it out, I think, or like he probably goes to a lot of appeals for them.
So he was very useful.
Oh, very useful, and he was very good.
Very
He
good?
was good, and he made you feel comfortable. He made you feel like you were worth it. Now, you call the workers' appeal. My cousin was going through an appeal, and she was going through the workers' advocate, and he told her that he didn't know when he'd have time for her, and she said, well, if you don't have time for me, you're not for me. So she called Mr. Shalala, she got in, and she probably was done before she ever would even got in to see a workers' advocate. So right now, at the moment, we have no choice but to contact workers' advocates, and which we have, but we haven't set the release form yet, but because we keep on hoping for the Workers' Appeal Services to...
What's it called again? Workers' Appeal Services?
Yeah.
Workers' Appeal Services. And the Shalala, you haven't heard from him? He just disappeared off the face of the earth?
Yeah.
Is the union supporting? Is the union supporting this guy?
Pardon?
Is the union support? So did they support this guy?
I think that they were, and I think that like the fire department was, but you know, there's not as many people working these days either, and not everybody gives. Not everyone can afford to give. And I think that it shouldn't have to be that they have to scrounge for their money every year. They should be paid like the other workers' advocates.
So the bottom line is, right now, if you want to fight, you don't know anything about the system. You have to call an advocate that's paid by the government, and they turn around and say, well, Ray, I don't have enough time for this, And if this Workers' Appeal Services was much better than what they got now. That's what you're saying?
Well, for us, yes. For us, yes, and for many others, yes.
For many others.
And I'm not saying Workers' Appeal Services isn't great, but in our case, the only time that he ever lost was through Workers' Appeal Services, and won every case with Workers' Advocates for the province is the only one that he ever lost. And Workers' Appeal Services, he won every case.
So Workers' Appeal Services don't exist anymore.
Nope.
And this is 13 days before the provincial election.
Yeah, I'd like to know why.
And who are you supporting on your election?
I haven't decided yet.
Are you voting for Liberals?
I haven't decided yet.
How about the PC?
I haven't decided.
You have a good day. Bye-bye. So, we'll put this as 13 days before the next provincial election. Workers' Appeal Services, what happened? You had strong, like Bob Shalala. Where is he? How come the government, Brian Gallant, did he eliminate Workers' Appeal Services? Is this right? Maybe this is another thing we should do to look at. We're not... This is sad. This is sad. When you have... It's funny. When you have people... It's like being a journalist. You start asking tough questions. You start really... People pay attention to you. They appoint you to the Senate. To communication. And then you get paid $70,000-$80,000 a year. This thing here, he was working, he was good, he was working on behalf of the injured workers. He won lots of cases, and what they do, they get rid of it. Workers' Appeal Services, what happened?